What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Event Masters. I'm Dylan Schinholzer. Alongside of me, you'll see in a minute, Patrick Van Dusen. And this is the show where we take event producers and turn them into event masters. We have another special guest this week, so let's go ahead and get into it.
Welcome to the show, Event Masters. You need to listen to this if you want to throw bigger and better events. Learn how to monetize and land bigger racks. Yeah, this is where you can learn how to do that. Event Masters.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode 16 of Event Masters. As I said, my name is Dylan Schinholzer, and alongside of me, as always, Patrick Van Dusen. What's up, dude?
Hey, number 16.
Blue screen going on today. I like it.
Yeah, I decided to switch it up a little bit. This is actually a green screen. You could get on Amazon. Revert back to the Screen Fatigue episode of good performances. Hey, still rocking the headphones. These things are great. Yeah, you don't need $200 headphones to do great production quality. So
I dig it. I like it. Well, I'm excited to be back on this Friday. It's been a long week. So as you guys are tuning in, you notice we're at a little bit of different time. You know, you never know what to expect with us here at Event Masters. Okay, so we're going to change it up from time to time. We do what we want. It's our show. So with that being said, we have another special guest in the house today. But before I do that, of course, if I don't ask, you guys don't do it. So go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow us at Event Masters Show on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. What else is there? Spotify, Apple,
iTunes.
iTunes. Yeah. Is it iTunes? Is it Apple Music? I really can't keep up. Is it all of them?
And we will have the website up soon. We're still working on it, and that's going to be great. We'll let you guys know when that launches too.
We're getting legit, man. We're getting legit.
It's becoming a thing now.
You gotta step your game up. Like, you gotta do it right. So with that being said, like I said, like, subscribe, follow us on it. If you're watching this, go ahead and share this video out, because this one is what people want to see. As you guys can see in the thumbnail and how I title it and everything like that, it's how to sell out events in this post-pandemic, not even post-pandemic, current pandemic. And you'll find out the whole story of from before till now and how he was able to do it and build it. But I'm going to stop rambling. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get this man up here. I'm excited to talk to him. I have never met him until now, so this is going to be a fun conversation. I love these conversations where I don't know people. It's because it kills two birds with one stone. I get to meet people and I get to do a show. Yeah, so this is going to be fun.
You ever do those podcasts where they're like, yeah, what are we going to talk about on today's show? What's all skit this thing out, right? And it's like, no, can't do that now.
We just figured it out. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and bring up the CEO of I'm In Events, Heissam Jebailey.
What's up?
What's up, sir? How are you, man?
I'm in.
I love the branding aspect of that. I dig it. I need to get me a middle name, Patrick. I need a Dylan something Schinholzer. I got to figure it out.
Dylan Experience Schinholzer.
That's too many syllables. I'm in. You see how I'm in flows? Like, you know how it's just like Heissam, I'm in Jebailey. Like, that flows.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm more pumped up about this weekend or the intro that you guys just did. I'm like, love the song. Love the intro song. Good stuff.
Yeah, shout out to my buddy Joey who made us that. I think we're about to get a new one as well. I haven't told Patrick that, but you got to keep it fresh. So, but enough about us, man. I'm excited to have you. Thank you for coming on the show. Patrick and I have been looking forward to this episode. So everybody knows about us, knows about the show, but we don't know about you. So before we get into the black and white weekend and everything and that story, I want to know about you. How did you get into this world? How did you become Heissam I'm In Jebailey?
Sure. Long story short, I grew up in Orlando, Florida, went to high school and college, graduated. I was in the newspaper business for a decade, and then I got into the franchise business, real estate business, fitness business. But at the end of the day, I have an unbelievable passion for bringing people together and showing them the time of their life and giving back to the community. Black and White Weekend is a partner with Basecamp Children's Cancer Foundation. Out of the last 12 years that we've been putting this event on, at the end of the day, it's all about helping kids battle cancer in the hospital beds here in Central Florida and throughout Winter Park as well. And like I said, even at 16 years old, growing up in the summer months, my parents were Lebanese. At the end of every summer term, when I had to go home, my father and I, Heissam Jebailey, would go around knocking door to all our friends and invite them over for a get-together, a goodbye get-together. And those were awesome times, man. And then after 10 years of post-UCF graduation, I just had this itch to start an event called the Black and White Party. There's a backstory to it too. Long story short, again, I mean, I've said it many times, millions of times over the last 10 years, but how I got my start with Black and White was simple. When I was 22 years old, I almost passed away with a near fatal case of pneumonia. Same pneumonia that a lot of complicated people are going through, unfortunately, with the pandemic that we've been dealing with for the last 14 months. 20 years ago, I was on my deathbed, and I didn't think I was going to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but luckily a miracle happened and I survived. And in 2010, I wanted to host a celebration party. I wanted to take my event experience, and thanks for having me on EventMASTERS, and put together a party celebrating life and inviting everyone that's been supporting me. And now, this weekend, we'll be celebrating our 11th annual Black and White Weekend in its 12th year, because we pushed it back twice last year. And we're deeming ourselves the largest Black and White Weekend for charity and wellness in the world. And this weekend, we will be the first major charity event in the nation to take place with all the safety protocols in place to make sure we finally have this event for Basecamp, for the community, for businesses, and for you guys too to have me on the show. It's an honor. Thank you.
That I had no idea. That's super cool. Like, so yeah, I had zero, like I said, guys, I had zero knowledge of the backstory behind the event. So that's super cool. So you created the event out of an almost a celebration and wanting to give back based on your own experiences. That's
Correct.
why can you probably agree that that's probably why this event is obviously so special and rewarding to you, because it does have that personal attachment to it?
Yes. If I wasn't on my deathbed 20 years ago, I wouldn't have envisioned black and white colors, hence the name Black and White Weekend, and why we're so strict with the dress code. The kids that are 3 to 17 years old, they're dealing with the same thing I dealt with 20 years ago. And I just want to help these kids, and my committee and my sponsors and all the attendees want to do the same, right? If I did not end up in that hospital bed, Black and White Weekend wouldn't be where it is today. And at the end of the day, it's such an awesome, awesome feeling to be able to do this and to give back to the community. And I didn't do it on my own. I mean, we're talking hundreds of people helping put on this event just for the weekend.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. So
Wow.
let's go back. Let's go all the way back to year one and kind of look at it from what year one looks like to, you said now we're in year 12. What does that progression look like for you from year one to where we are at now?
Easy. So, and this is good for event people because you guys are hosting the show EventMASTERS, and you wanted me to share how I got to where I am today. Well, in the May of 2010 is when I had the first Black and White party. 100 people came dressed in black and white. It's at the Rosen Plaza Hotel on International Drive here in Orlando, Florida. 10 booked hotel rooms. I literally went through, at the time, my Rolodex of anyone that I ever came into contact with, friends, family, acquaintances, and I invited them all. Out of 1,000 people, I invited 150 people showed up. And then year two, 200 people. Year three, I added the charity. Now I'm giving back to the community, and people do have a vested interest in giving back to the community and knowing where the money's going. And that's why I teamed up with a small local charity that when I cut the check at the end of the day, I know it's going directly into these kids' hands. You got the president, vice president that was literally here last week helping us set up the Black and White Weekend in my own home. If that doesn't speak volumes, I don't know what does, right? And we're covering these kids' iPad 2s when they complete chemotherapy. There's one girl that made my hospital incident look like a walk in the park. She's now battling her 7th bout of chemotherapy, her 7th bout of cancer. And Black and White Weekend is pushing her through this and pushing her through by providing funds for her college tuition so she can graduate college. 3 years ago, we built a Black and White kitchen so kids could come with their families and cook a home-cooked meal or bring home a nice meal from this kitchen that Black and White brought. So that was year 3. Year 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Kept building and building and building till we reached our maximum at this venue of 1,000 people dressed in black and white, 150 booked hotel rooms. The kickoff starts on a Friday. The main event is on a Saturday, and it ends with a pool party on Sunday. Just a lot of word of mouth, a lot of social media, a lot of emails. I mean, I can't walk down the street with someone saying I'm in, because I make people sick and tired of seeing it, but it works.
Well, welcome to the wonderful world of branding, people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's
you would never be able to go, not I'm in around you.
That's the growth progression right there. 100 people, 1,000 people, but over the course of 12 years.
Yeah. And so what do you think was the driving success of you going from 100 to the 1,000? And I'm sure in year 15, 20, and 25 and 30, we'll see much more than that. So what do you think is, outside of the community aspect, and of course I want to get back, what do you think from an event aspect has helped you make that progression as well?
Awesome. Great question. So let me just start off by saying this wouldn't be possible without my committee. I have a team of friends that I've known over the years that help support me and the charity. They volunteer throughout the year. So you see all the things that the committee's doing throughout the year to raise money for the charity, not just at Black and White, but year round, right? And they're there guiding me, providing advice, telling me what's working, what's not working. We take votes very seriously. I mean, we had to push back the event twice last year during the pandemic, and God blessed us with the ability to be able to hold it this weekend, right? But for example, Bruno with Omni Creek, Alpa with Moby Yogi, Kim with Farnsworth Photography, Carmen with Seacoast Bank, Ty with Green Bios, and Sean with HECM Senior Home Financing. That's just 6 of my friends that run businesses that have a great relationship with me and everyone they come into contact with. So it's not just me promoting. I've got a team of 23 people, just for starters, always talking about I'm in, always talking about Basecamp, and always talking about Black and White Weekend. So for me, it started with the team. The first 5 years, I did it all by myself. I look back, I don't even know how I'm still standing here without. I started with 12 and then 15, then 20, and now we're at 23. And it's, again, it's a blessing. And I love those guys very much. And they're actually on my way to my house to help me pack up all these cars to get this event going this weekend.
Yeah, I was about to say, God, this is event weekend, by the way. Like, he's taking, I don't know if you guys have ever had an event weekend. I know what you're going through right now. So for you to take the time out of your day to come chat with us, I will say it probably a few more times from here. Thank you again for that.
We appreciate it. He's getting ready to just right out of here.
He's like
when he ends this podcast.
But this is really cool. I'm glad you mentioned the team aspect, because I think what folks don't realize, especially, and I've learned it here recently in the last few years, I was a one-man band too, and I'm like, gotta be a better way. And you start to realize teams and people are the lifeblood to events, and the people that put them on are really what make them. And if you don't have that team, you don't really have that success. So I love that that is basically your core group right there and your funnels of success. So awesome. So the story of Black and White has obviously transcended over time. And then you went into this pandemic-y world. Obviously, you said you had to postpone. Well, obviously ended up postponing, but canceling 2 last year. And then you're one of those folks. You're coming back in the middle of what folks would still call a pandemic, but you're doing it in the correct way, and you've been able to sell it out and not let some of the fear in the world hold you back or anything like that. And if it did, was hold people back, and you were able to convey that message. So let's break this down. Okay. That was kind of the point of the show as well, is the story of your event has been amazing. But I think folks want to hear, like, how are you doing events right now? It's like, how does he do it? Like, what's the secret sauce? How did you how did you end up getting and conveying out the message that you were going to be safe, that, all the protocols were going to be taken, that you could still come enjoy this event just like every other year? And you're pulling off pretty much as what resembles a non-pandemic world event, right?
Correct.
For the most part, it just probably looks a little different.
But a couple tweaks, of course, my hearts and prayers go out to anyone that's been affected the last 14 months with the pandemic. It's been no joke, Luckily, we live in the state of Florida, so let me start off by saying that. So things have been bouncing back relatively quickly. But to answer your question on how, so Black and White Weekend, the 11th edition, was supposed to take place 2 years ago on Saturday, May 16 of 2020. Obviously, the pandemic hit us March 16. I'll never forget that date in my head. March 16, everything got shut down. And we were thinking that things were going to pass pretty quickly, and by May, we could have this event. Well, that wasn't happening. So we had to make a moral decision to push the event back. Now, a lot of people, in their own right, had every right to cancel their events indefinitely. And that's what they did. And that's okay. You know, I considered it too. We considered it as well. But like anything else in the world, when something goes bad, there's always going to be a turnaround stage, whether it takes a few months or a couple of years. Well, myself and my committee standpoint was, it's going to be a couple months. Worst case, it's going to be a year. And we didn't know if we were right or wrong. We pushed the event back to October. Now, mind you, I already had sponsors like Benj Development, CryoNext Labs, Foundations and Behavior, iTouch Orlando and Hertz Rent-A-Car, QB Elite Model and Talent. These are business people in the community that love what I do, love what the committee does, and absolutely positively loves what Basecamp does. They put their trust in us. I told them, guys, we have to push this back to October 10 of 2020. A week prior, the governor lifted a lot of the restrictions and was allowing things to start to happen. Unfortunately, it was still too soon. I had to go back to everybody that booked a room and everybody that booked a ticket and said, listen, we're going to push this back one more time, and one way or another, we're going to have this event on May 15, 2021. At that point, we were 75% sold out because we've been building this over a decade long, right? But here's the thing. We still got restrictions, right? So we're operating at half capacity. Normally we're at 1,000. We'll be less than 500 this year. And whether we have to or not, or supposed to or not, we're still requiring temperature checks at the door, social distancing, face masks are required upon entry, and we'll have hand sanitizing stations everywhere, right? And the beautiful thing is this event is indoors, spread out, and outdoors as well. 10,000 square feet for half the capacity, and everybody coming cannot wait for this event. They know what they're getting into because a lot of them have been, and a lot of the new people that haven't, just like ViewStub said, we're educating them for 2 years now what we have in store. Guys, it's an exciting time, and we're blessed by God to be able to have this event because we never gave up.
That's the takeaway.
I love that. Well, actually, I wanted to, my next point was the giving up part. We work with a lot of event organizers, and they either have high expectations or we see some do an event and then they kind of just fade off, right? They say, yeah, I'm going to have 5 events in the next whatever time period, right? They do their first event. You could tell like their energy the next time you talk to them is a little bit lower. So for anyone listening to this episode or the replay, if it's not live, you know, he's been building this event for over a decade now, right? Started off at 100, 200, 300 people all the way to where it is now. Guys, it takes time to build something great. It's not just businesses, it's also events as well.
I'm glad you brought it. You're right.
Micro little businesses at the end of the day. No, that's a good point.
Like you guys said, at the end of the day, no one really sees what you guys do behind the scenes. No one sees what me and the committee and 500 people do behind the scenes to make this happen. If people knew, and if it was easy, nobody would be doing this right now. Nobody, because it's not difficult to do, but it's the passion and the people and the kids that keep me going. So
I love it. That's why it goes back to, I think, one big belief that I have that says you have to have some sort of tie to events. Like it already takes, I've said this on the show before, I tell all my event friends this, like it already takes like a certain level of kind of crazy to be event people, right? So you got to be a little bit out there, right? But then you layer in like the being able to attach beliefs and passion to the events that you're doing, which is what you've done and why it's a success. And that's what I'm getting to in a roundabout long way, is like being able to tie what you do to passions and beliefs, and getting involved with other things that are bigger than you ultimately lead to bigger and better events. So it's attaching your events to causes and beliefs and something bigger do usually help with success and growth and things like that. So I wanted to take something very practical out of everything we're chatting about for those of you who aren't reading between the lines as we talk today. So this has been really cool. So so I have a question, because I know I've now run and managed and watched 2 in-person events happen so far this year. Did you guys have to do any more, and I think Patrick will like this question, did you guys have to do any more like education around your safety protocols you were going to have in place, and did anything in your communication and marketing change based on it being in a pandemic?
Yes. So we released multiple statements to all the attendees that were coming, and we gave them the option of, pushing their tickets back a year, Normally we don't do refunds because of the charity that's involved, but there's always one or two. If they're struggling, of course, we're going to give the money back. It's not an issue. It's just constantly emails, phone calling, live videos, streaming videos. You guys are doing an amazing job today with EventMASTERS. But honestly, guys, I don't even really need to do the communication. The media and the local authorities are doing the communication nonstop. So people already know going in what to expect. There won't be any surprises. And as an added bonus, yes, we're communicating this for 2 years straight. So there will be no surprises when people show up and they see all the safety protocols in place.
That's super cool. So, because that's what I wanted to make sure folks knew when it goes into selling tickets and educating and making sure their attendees are aware of things going on, especially because we're in a pandemic. I think a big thing around events and coming back is obviously the safety and what is the organizer doing. So I'm glad we're taking those steps, and people can take from that that snippet is, make sure you are taking those steps. It's going to be an added layer to your communication and your marketing, but it needs to be part of it to chat about what you're doing to make sure they're safe and ease some of these quote unquote fears.
Absolutely. And what else can I say? I mean, everyone that's coming, look, we wouldn't be here where we are now this weekend, and people wouldn't be putting their trust in us if we didn't sell out at 500 tickets and over 100 hotel rooms, which is really unheard of where we're at right now. But it's time, and it's time to get started. And it's time to get things turning around. And again, it's time that luckily I've got a huge support system that puts their trust in me and puts their trust in the venue. The Rosen Plaza Hotel has been absolutely wonderful. Even if restrictions get lifted, they still stick with them just in case. My committee, we bought 23 custom-made black and white masks for the committee because it all starts with us. We got to set the right example. When I'm on speaking, we're going to have our masks on, right? Unless we're eating, drinking, or sitting outside. It just, there's just so many options and so many things that people can do to feel safe and comfortable. And I'm telling you, we did not skip a beat. We did not have to ask anything. Everything is in place. We just got to go get this thing set up, and it's going to be a wonderful time.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited about that. And so because you said 500, but because this is a show, because this is EventMASTERS, because the world is all about hybrid, because the world, this show is sponsored by ViewStub. Shout out. Had to throw it in there. Patrick always gives me crap because we never promote ourselves. But you didn't just stop at this event in person, right? You wanted to take it a step above and go hybrid. So let's chat on that and just get practical about that. What made you want to go hybrid in a format of an event? Because I think a lot of people, let me kind of set the stage for why I'm asking this question. I think a lot of people look at the fundraiser galas and the charity events as why would they go hybrid? There's no it's not a business conference. Why would they live stream? And I'm not learning anything.
Yeah,
but,
I'm not. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? There's a stigma to it. I feel and I want to break it down right now with you because you're going beyond the venue to get all that reach and all the things. And I don't want to take any answers from you. So why did you decide to take this event that has always been in person and go hybrid this year, outside of obviously the COVID pandemic kind of stuff?
Absolutely. So, one of your founders, Patrick, is a friend of mine before ViewStub even was started and before ViewStub really took off during the pandemic because we were all stuck at home. We had no choice but to go live streaming. At the end of the day, and this is the first time I've actually ever said this, but I'm a promoter at the end of the day, I love to promote. I love to bring people together. I love to raise money for charity. I am always looking, brainstorming, thinking, even in my sleep, how can I get more people aware about the event? How can I get more people aware about Basecamp Children's Cancer Foundation? How can I give to my sponsors and to the committee and to the kids battling cancer, right? So since we're limited at half capacity, I'm very grateful and proud and happy to have a sponsor like ViewStub, which allows anyone from around the world, whether they got a ticket or not, or if things come up and there's a cancellation on their end, maybe they got sick or they have to fly out of town or, we all do stuff in our personal life. But to be able to get on your phone or get on your computer, whether you're in the air or on the ground, or your friend is in the passenger seat driving in a car, right? We partnered up with ViewStub because now that we're sold out, and mind you, we sold out 2 months ago, if not, I think 3 months ago, we're giving people the opportunity to watch this event unfold live until 2022 when we can finally operate again at full capacity, right? So it gives people to watch the event unfold, see what's happening, see what we're all about. But the cool thing with UStub, for example, is while people are watching, while they're listening, not just in Florida and the US, worldwide. I promoted the other day that you could watch 7 billion plus people around the world, because I did a Google search and it said there was 7.6 billion. Let's take the kids out of it. 7 billion people around the world could watch Black and White Weekend on ViewStub if they wanted to. One day I want to reach those 7 billion people. I'm happy with 1,000. We've sold a bunch of tickets for people that couldn't make the event. So I think with ViewStub's partnership, they're going to have a camera set up inside and outside the venue, starting from 8 p.m. all the way to 2 a.m. so people can really get a feel for what this event is all about, what the cause is all about. And again, a lot of people will be able to watch this live streaming that never even heard about Black and White Weekend. And I talked to you about my hospital story. There's people that have been going to the event since year one and still don't know about my hospital story, even though I've been on every major news outlet, every podcast, and I'm ending it right before the weekend with EventMASTERs. Hopefully EventMASTERs, which I'm very confident, my phone is blowing up, so I know people are watching me tonight or today. Guys, thank you for watching ViewStub. I can't wait to see you this weekend. When I leave here, 50 of us are coming to my house to set everything up and load up for you guys this weekend. And if you can't, I actually posted the website, viewstub.com/Black and White Weekend. Get your virtual ticket because you cannot get another in-person ticket. Our goal now is to pull off this event safely and successfully and for the world to see on ViewStub.
I love it. Wow. I love it.
Yeah, I love it as well.
That's like a sales pitch for ViewStub. I loved it.
Yeah, we appreciate it. I want to back up to a couple good points. One of them, well, actually, I want to get started with Heissam. I think we streamed one of your events back in 2019. Yes. Spencer and I at the All Fond in Winter Park. Oh, it was your birthday party. Yep. Yeah. So we've been friends for a while, and it's been so awesome to see each other grow, which has just been great. These past 2 years have flown. And then the second point was just awareness. You hit the nail on the head with being a promoter and awareness. Dylan and I talk about all the time. Really, I mean, you could throw the best event ever, but if you don't know how to promote it and build awareness around it, who's going to come? So you hit the nail right on the head with that one.
True.
I love it. Well, look, I mean, I know I don't want to hold you up anymore. We're getting to a point where I'm starting to feel guilty because I know what it's like to be you right now. And I know you have 8,400 things to be doing. So once again, I very much appreciate this. So I want to wrap it up with just one final question that I like to ask event professionals is if you could give everybody watching this just one cliche question, but if you can give everybody watching this one tip, trick, strategy that has helped you grow to who you are, what would that be?
Constantly promote who you are and what you do to the masses every single day. And keep your relationships and your partnerships intact as best as you can. And make sure your reputation is at 150% day in and day out. And don't give up. And I promise you, you can never be steered wrong. And Black and White Weekend for the 11th time in its 12th year is finally happening this weekend. This is going to be proof in the pudding that dreams do come true. And we're going to make 500 plus people's dreams come true for an in-person event. And again, if you can't make it, thank goodness we have ViewStub for you to watch it anywhere around the world.
Well, cool. Well, once again, thank you for taking time out of your pre-event day and jamming with us. I hope you guys that are listening got value out of the story and the takeaways that you can get there. And then also, like you said, if you guys are around this weekend and want to join in and be able to be a part of this event and experience it, you can go ahead and click the links. We'll put them in the comments right below, and we'll get you going, and you can get yourself a virtual ticket. So with that being said, Heissam, once again, very much appreciated. And I look forward to doing more and more and more cool things with you, my man. So with that being said, go ahead. We'll also drop all of where you can find him everywhere. So we won't make them rattle off handles or anything. We'll drop them down below. All you got to do is click on them. Make it super easy, people. And so with that being said, this has been episode 16 of EventMASTERS. Patrick, it was a good one, man.
Oh, yes.
Awesome.
Thank you, Heissam, for joining us.
I think it's just below the one the other day about screen fatigue so far. I'm just saying nothing against you, Heissam. I'm just saying I feel like No, I'm kidding. This was really fun. And I'm excited, like I said, to do more with you and be part of more of your events and help get the word out. So once again, we will let you go, man. We will stop talking. We will let you go, get to work, and good luck on your event this weekend. And for everybody tuning in and watching, make sure you go follow this man. We'll put the links in the comments, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of Event Masters. See you guys.
Thank you guys very much,
everyone.
Have a great weekend.